welcome to the Citizen Channel and our History Boys feature. Yes, and we're going to take you back to 1991 today, the 7th of December 1991, a Barclays Division 1 game, Aston Villa versus Manchester City. Yes, Peter Reid was in his first full season. He'd taken over as player manager from Howard Kendall the previous season. And after 18 games, we were doing pretty well. We sat third in the table on 31 points. That wasn't too bad. United were just above us in second. They had 38 points, a few more. And Leeds were in first spot with 39 points. We'd begun to stutter a little bit. We had a draw at Main Road against United. We'd actually drawn all our three previous games. So a little bit of a stutter in our step. But Villa Park wasn't an easy place to go then. They were actually in an okay sixth position at the time, under, of course, the enigmatic... bigger than, larger than life character, of course, Ron Atkinson, and they were just 4 points behind City going into this game. It would be a tough challenge, as I said, for City. Away from football, I was working at New Smithfield Market in Higher Openshaw there. This was a month after the death of a guy you might, obviously younger ones probably won't remember this gentleman, or well, I'll use the term gentleman very loosely. Robert Maxwell, his business were in meltdown as he got debts of over £1 billion. Obviously it was the Mirror Group and all that sort of thing. And the previous Sunday, as stores like Asda and Tesco have been very naughty. They defied the trading laws and actually opened on a Sunday for the first time, the previous Sunday to this game, in an attempt to try and boost sales during the ongoing recession. Yes, another recession back in 1991. George Michael and Elton John were teaming up. They were top of the charts with Don't Let the Sun Go Down on Me. And Queen were top of the album charts with their greatest hits too. So I'm not too sure of any of your songs on there. You'd be grateful to know. Terminator 2 Judgment Day was packing them in at the cinema. That was the biggest box office film that year in 1991. And £1 then, yes, well, they'd only be worth £1.92 then. It's 30 years, 92p. That's not much inflation, that is it really? That's quite good in an economic point of view. But hey, we're not going to talk economics here. We're going to go back to football. A crowd of 26,265 were at Villa Park for this top six clash. Villa 6, as I said, we were third. And the lineups that day for Villa, you've got Les Seeley, Darius Kubicki, Steve Staunton, Sean Teal, Paul McGrath, Kevin Richardson, Tony Daly, Gary Parker, Cyril Regis, Mark Blake and Dwight York. I wonder what happened to him. I wonder what he got up to. And City was Colton, Hill, Poynton, Megson, Curl, Sharon, White, Heath, Quinn, Brightwell and Hughes. Obviously not a bad little team. And the next day's headlines summed up the game. City in shock. It didn't go well, did it? Woeful Blues see their title challenge fading. That was Paul Hintz's title for his column. We'll read that in a moment. And Reid in a rage, yes he was, because the final score at Villa Park that day was Aston Villa 3, Manchester City 1. So we'll go over to Mr. Paul Hintz with his headline, Woeful Blues see their title challenge fading, to have his little match report on the game, see how it went and see any little quirky information he could give us in his own inimitable way, Paul Hintz, as a reporter. An autumn rich in promise for Manchester City is rapidly turning into a winter of discontent. Already dumped out the Rumbelows Cup. By second division opposition, the Blues are now losing ground by the week on first division pace setters, and the message was boomed out from frosty Villa Park on Saturday. It was deafening. Unless manager Peter Reid can lay his hands on a couple of quality players and quickly, the slide which has already begun is in danger of developing into an unstoppable tumble. Didn't quite get that bad. 3 points out of a possible 12 tells its own story of a City side which once again came apart at the seams on a Saturday at a ground where they hadn't lost a game in over 10 years. It's been quite a lucky ground then. Manager Reid read his players the right act after what he considered an unacceptable performance from his team. But the answer surely is in Reid's own hands. He has got money to spend. If there was any lingering thoughts that the Blues could prosper, but their current weight for Finn's squad, they vanished on Saturday. Reid's face was black with fury as he strolled towards the dressing rooms at half-time after a nightmare 45 minutes, which must have seemed like an eternity to the injured Blues boss watching from the touchline. Yeah, because he was the player manager then, of course. Being outplayed was bad enough, but when a City team, which was prided itself this season on its mean streak, is outplayed and outbattled, then you know you've got problems aplenty. The warning signs of the Blues were flashing around Villa Park in the opening 20 minutes, with Villa striker Dwight York heading over from a clear scoring position and keeper Tony Colton forced to pull off a stunning save to deny Kevin Richardson. But in their current mood, Reids players can't see the noses in front of their faces. There was hardly a blue shirt in sight when Villa fullback Steve Staunton created his side's first goal with a cross from the right, which was bulleted into the roof of the net from the head of the menacing Cyril Regis. The second Villa goal was a manager's nightmare, with City's woeful marking giving Regis all the space he needed to flick on Richardson's corner to York, who scarcely had to stretch his neck muscles to nod in. Reid's dressing room dressing down, plus the introduction of debut boy Mike Quigley for the weary-looking Michael Hughes, at least brought a response of sorts in the second half from the ear-bashed Blues. And for a few brief minutes, City's magnificent travelling army, yes, a few there again, as there usually was at Villa, must have thought that the trip may not have been wasted after all. That unexpected ray of hope arrived courtesy of David White, who at last escaped his shackles to head home Mike Sherron's measured right-wing cross to join Niall Quinn on their 8-goal mark for the season. The Blues revival lasted all of 5 minutes until they were killed off by a spectacular volley from winger Tony Daly. Yeah, the form guide that day of the players, Colton got a 7 and all the following got 6s. Hill, Poynton, Megson, Curl, Sherron, White, Heath, Quinn and Hughes. And the man of the match, the City man of the match, Ian Brightwell, he got an 8. When the going gets tough, as it did on Saturday, you can rely on Play Anywhere Ian Brightwell to stand up and be counted. So as I said, the attendance was 26,265. The goals for Regis on 26 minutes, York on 40 minutes, Davy White 65 minutes, and Daly 70 minutes to finish it off. And then Mr. R.G. Groves from Weston-super-Mare was a referee, and Paul's always kind with marks for referees. He give him an 8 out of 10 here, which obviously is quite good. And we'll leave the final word on this match, as we do with the evening news, with the manager Peter Reid. The final word from Peter Reid. We have set ourselves certain standards this season. We let them slip at Villa Park. I can accept losing, but I cannot stand for our first half display when our attitude and commitment had left a lot to be desired. We have prided ourselves this season on being a difficult side to beat, and yet for the second game on the trot, we have given opposition a 2-goal start. The players got stuck in after half-time, but by then it was too late. You cannot give teams a 2-goal start and expect to come home with all 3 points. But the defeat may be a blessing in disguise, because it has reinforced my opinion that the senior squad has to be strengthened if we want to mount a serious challenge for trophies this season. So there you go. Nothing overly exciting from Peter Reid after that game, but a bit disappointing after 3 draw and another loss, as I say, when obviously that dropped us down to 4th, and it actually moved Villa up into 5th, just a point behind us. We will get some revenge on Villa, though, later in the season on the 29th of February. It was a leap year that year. 29th of February with a 2-0 home win at Main Road with Niall Quinn and David White scoring the 2 goals. Yeah, Clive Allen was actually obviously a City player at the time. He didn't feature in that game. He had been featured up to the Villa game, but obviously there'd been something going on behind the scenes, and it came out that Reid and Clive Allen had sort of fallen out, and he was quite quickly after this transferred to Chelsea for about £350,000. One of the headlines in the papers read, "Reid treated me like a dog. I was hounded out." There you go. There's always a pun or two, isn't there, in the newspaper headlines. Of course, it was a season that saw Leeds crowned champions in the end, with City would finish a creditable 5th, which was okay, but slightly disappointing, as I say, from the good start we made. And that was the same that we finished the season before, of course, where Kendall had started in charge and Peter Reid had taken over. And it would be season 2009-2010, so a long time after, before we would match that position again in the top league. And we went a few places down in between then as well, didn't we? So there you go. But it'd be a long wait before we could get up to those dizzy heights of 5th again, and obviously higher after that. But it was a long time coming. Villa themselves, they finished 7th, and it was the following season, if you remember rightly, where they ran United very close for about 3/4 of the season. Then they sort of petered out a bit towards the end, didn't they? And actually finishing second, and they were actually 10 points behind United. So that was the highest they sort of finished as well. Until they never really came close again. I think they had a handful of top 6 finishes. And obviously they got relegated around the mid-2010s, about 2015, something like that. Obviously they've recently come back up again. But yeah, they weren't to get anywhere near that second spot that they managed the season after this one we're talking about. So there you go. Thanks for joining me for this little History Boys feature. When we look back at the 7th of December 1991 in the Barclays League Division 1, a trip to Villa Park and a defeat which was a bit gutting at the time and left us lying 4th, and we never quite recovered or improved on that as the season went on. We won some, we lost some, we drew some, and as I say, we ended up 5th. But this particular game ended up Aston Villa 3, Manchester City 1. Thanks for watching. Whatever you're going to do rest of the day, have a great one. Look after yourselves, look after your friends, look after your families. More importantly, let's all look after each other. So we meet here again on the Citizens channel. Or perhaps please have a look at my film and TV channel if you get a chance. I try and inform and entertain on there. And if you can get over there and give us a like on there as well. I don't get as many likes on the film and TV channel, even though I get quite a lot of views. So if you can do that, that'd be wonderful. Just to spend a couple of minutes, 2 or 3 minutes, just having a look at what I do. Hopefully you'll enjoy that as well. But if it's back on here, if it's back on the Citizen channel, I only ask one thing, don't I, guys? Please stay safe, Blues. Come on, City. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.